DM, I must thank you very much for creating a strong relationship between social development and MTN. And I'm happy you've also brought ICASA on board. And I hope we're going to have sign language interpreters in all TV stations. And social development, we have at least during Disability Month, we go with interpreters throughout the country, but that's also not enough. I think this day is very important for all of us in social development, more particularly for the MECs from other provinces, because we are going to be going to all the provinces, DM. When we had our first meeting with the Deputy Minister, after we were appointed, so we had to agree on her responsibilities. As soon as you are sworn in, you receive a letter from the President saying you are going to give responsibilities to the Deputy Minister. And it took me time to think about giving a disability to the DM, because I did not know how she was going to take the whole thing. And she did not have a problem, because I knew we needed someone who has been in the sector, who understands it very well. But also UDM served in the Social Development Portfolio Committee in Parliament. And she has been there throughout the development of policies in social development. But also she came in style. We were ready with the policy for people with disabilities. And then she came in, ensured that we made some amendments, and then we took the policy to Cabinet. It was adopted. We have also presented to the Portfolio Committee, and very soon we'll be making a statement in Parliament. And it's the first time under her good leadership and stewardship on the issues of people with disabilities that we have policy in South Africa. But secondly, DM does not complain. She's not a crybaby. You say to her, jump, and she says, how high? And that is why she is able to identify areas that need social development in areas of disability. Where we are working with other departments, she's been able to carve out issues that are about disability. One of our responsibilities as the department is to ensure that the rights of people with disabilities are protected. We have to ensure they access resources. But what is more important, we have to create a conducive condition for children with disabilities to compete with any other child in the country. I don't want to say children without disabilities, because there are many people that have disabilities, but they are not identifiable, they are not visible. I heard the young man, Jonas, saying he wants to be a specialist in IT. And it remains our responsibility, DM, to follow Jonas and ensure that he is enabled to specialize in IT. And then I must say that I've seen a lot of love here, and you can never be a teacher here if you need to have buckets and buckets and buckets of love. But also I have seen teachers talking one-on-one to the kids. And I was laughing at the ones that were here trying to make a magic with the kids, wanting them to perform. Because you are teachers, you take things for granted. When you are going to perform anywhere, you must do a dry run. Go and do that, practice it up until the child understands. I will tell you, when we go to Parliament to speak, you read and read and read and read the speech. The officials take out the words that you can't pronounce properly. And therefore, it doesn't mean that if you do a dry run, you are not bright. You are enabling yourself because you'll be in the presence of many people. So nathi ngokwethu siyayenza i-dry run. Kukhona nabanye abaphuma ku Model C office. Mina ngafunda eBantu Community School where you did a first year and second year in one class. Do first year, get your report, and second year, get your report. So there is nothing wrong with trying to do that. So when I read the speech, I would say this August House or August House. They will say, no, Minister, August. Oti cannot, but cannot. Yeah. We are born a Model C. So I'm just saying, don't feel embarrassed if things do not go your way, because human beings are human beings. And you must know that much as I am a minister, at all times when I have to speak, my tongue gets dry. Like now, it's very, very dry. And as time goes on, I get used to speaking, and people think, don't see that, I am stressed and tense. What we are going to do now as the department is to, because we've gone through policy, is to come up with legislation. And again, people with disabilities are going to say whether they want their independent act or want the act to be integrated into Social Development Act, because we've just finished the review of the white paper, and now we are looking into developing Social Development Act, because we want everyone in government to be clear about what is expected of us. But I must say that we've gone beyond our call. We've also done our policy in braille. Now it has to talk at the end. It's talking now. So our policy is talking and it is in braille. Now, yes, it's in large print. The large print is like a suitcase on its own. Now we are responsible for parts of people with disabilities. We think having policy is a milestone, because all departments, provinces, municipalities will have to implement the laws of the country equally. Okay, we've been saying to people we have employed 2% people with disabilities, but we're just informed that actually 2% is too little. It's supposed to be 7%. And then specialists are busy looking into the figures. But again, we are not afraid of reaching 7% because we've already started employing people with disabilities, and they have their facilities. And most of the time when you talk about people with disabilities, people get stressed. Sometimes I laugh when sitting with the DM, talking to her colleagues, our comrade Dlamini and Minister where justice, jokes about her wanting a guide, and then because they are guys not wanting a guide, and might acting as a Dlamini as a guide, and then they walk and then they bump on the window, and she laughs at them. But what I like about all of them, Bantwana Bam, they are very serious about their work. ODM is busy completing her PhD. Very soon we will be calling her Dr. Bogopane-Zulu. And that means for all of us, the sky is the limit. But also, if she was not a fighter, she could not be where she is today. At Pretoria University, you know, she takes chances. She came with a tape recorder, and the lecturer was very angry, and she decided that no, I'm no longer going to attend lectures. But she negotiated up until they agreed to accommodate her. And therefore, amongst us all here, the sky is the limit. Don't waste your time. There are many members of parliament. There are many professors, intellectuals that come from the sector. I said I'll be very brief. I heard you talking about sheltered employment. We are with the CEO of NDA here, Tamo. Okay, sheltered employment is good, but we've been trying to mobilize people with disabilities to form cooperatives so that they work together and so that they receive a work on their own and get more money for their survival. Because mangabe nenzi sheltered employment, someone is your intermediate, that person brings a work to you, and they decide about your stipend or your salary. Having a co-op will give you many opportunities. I'll be relegating my duty and my responsibility if I don't say that much as we are celebrating October month with people with disabilities, as the department would like to pass our heartfelt and deepest condolences to the families of the people with intellectual disabilities that have passed on in the process of being moved to different or various areas. And we know that other departments have their responsibilities when it comes to people with disabilities. But social development stands for the rights of people with disabilities. And therefore, we've been approached by Section 27 that they are going to challenge us in court about what has happened. And therefore, we want to say to anyone who works with people with disabilities, if you want to do anything drastic, try and consult with us, because on many issues we've consulted with the lawyers. We know what to do. For instance, when we have to move people. Because if you don't understand for the issues of people with intellectual disabilities, you can commit a lot of mistakes. One, you cannot read them. Others cannot speak for themselves. They don't know who they are. They don't know even their treatment. And therefore, if they don't have people who specialize in their treatment, you might commit a lot of mistakes. We hope that this will not happen again. And we hope at DM you are going to organize with the MEC a formal commemoration so that our people see that we are not running away from this. But also this is going to give us an opportunity to mobilize our other partners and ensure that they understand their responsibilities. And also, where they have to work with us, they must not hesitate to do so. We are there to try and ensure that we improve the quality of lives of all our people. I thank you very much.